Good morning, everyone. It is a glorious day. It is Monday, the 4th of December, 2023. It is 9 a.m., which means it is time for our mindful moment. I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I am the spiritual leader here at Unity of Tucson. And as I say every time, the mindful moment is an opportunity that we take together every single weekday to engage in some spiritual practice. That spiritual practice in this instance is the discussion of a spiritual idea, and then also activating that idea through the practice of affirmative prayer. That is the practice that I offer. And I do this every single weekday in an effort to maintain a consistency in practice, because what I have found is that consistency in spiritual practice has enhanced the quality of my life. And so I offer to you the opportunity, if you decide that that's what you would like, and if you decide that this is the practice that works for you, to enhance the quality of your life. And here's the thing: if this practice doesn't work for you, find what works. I always talk about the nature of technique, the idea of technique being anything that works. And so if you find something that works for you, I encourage you to engage in that consistently, trusting that it enhances the quality of your life. Whether you're watching live right now or on the replay at some other point, I would love for you to post a comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know. Now, it is Monday, and so as you may become aware that on Mondays, because I'm not normally in the office on Mondays, I choose to do this as a pre-recorded mindful moment. Doesn't mean that I'm not engaged in the practice at the same time you are. It's just that I'm doing this at a slightly different time for myself, but I'm still in the practice when you are, if that makes any sense. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I do want to offer this reminder, though, and it is to say, you are love, you are light, you are life. Yes, you are magnificent. And I am so grateful that you shine your light and share your magnificence. Thank you so much for doing that. So today I have this idea that has been kind of welling up through me that I really wanted to talk about. I haven't talked about this directly in a long time, but I think it's something that if we are looking at it, and okay, I'm going to preface this by saying part of this is sort of a semantic construct that I'm going to get into, because we utilize words, and words sometimes can have confused meanings between different individuals. So I want to define some words in the way that I use them, in the way that I understand them, and get to the bottom of the meaning behind it, so that irrespective of the words we use, we can find ourselves perhaps in a place where we are blessing our own lives and the lives of others. So, in spiritual circles, we sometimes, I think, get confused about how deeply we should become involved in other people's stuff, And when I was training to first be a religious science practitioner and subsequently becoming a religious science minister, and then becoming a unity minister, and then getting my doctorate of consciousness studies, all of that, we do a lot of study. Those of us who are in this field, we are lifelong learners, and it's always deepening it's deepening in the study, utilizing the intellect to begin to deepen into the embodiment of the principles we teach. But in that course of study, I started to really look at the differentiation between empathy and sympathy. And oftentimes what I see unfolding are people who are saying, oh, I'm in a place of empathy, when they're engaged with other people in their stuff. And actually what they're engaged in is sympathy. So the first definitions I want to offer are these: the difference between empathy and sympathy. And I want you to determine for yourself, based on these definitions, what you think might be going on here. So, empathy is understanding. It is empathy is the understanding of what another is going through, right? Sympathy is more of a feeling of pity. So if we were to accept those as definitions, empathy is understanding what another is going through. Sympathy is more of a feeling of pity for what another one is going through. Which do you think is the more productive part of that equation of those definitions? Which do you think would be a greater practice, empathy or sympathy? I hold in my own heart that in given those as the only options, if those were the only options, then empathy is where I want to be. I want to understand. I strive to understand what someone else is going through, but I don't need to go into that place of pity for another person. So sympathy for me has no place in the work that I do spiritually. Um, which is funny because we have cards of like sympathy. We have sympathy cards for when someone has passed on. Like you give them a card in the store, they're marked as like sympathy cards. When someone has had a loss in their life and is going through grief, I don't want to feel pity for somebody who has gone through grief. I want to deepen my understanding for what that person has gone through. And sometimes that's in relationship to times in my life when I felt my own sense of grief. So for me, empathy is the step away from sympathy. Now, I was a fan of Star Trek. I still am a fan of Star Trek. I've watched pretty much all the Star Trek series that have ever been produced. And there is a character on Star Trek The Next Generation who is a counselor on the Starship Enterprise, Counselor Deanna Troi. And in this, she is from the world of Beta Z, and in Beta Z, they are telepaths. Now she is half Beta Z, half human. Can you believe I'm talking about Star Trek as a spiritual practice? So she's half Beta Z and half human. So she doesn't have full telepathic capacity like her full-blooded Beta Z people. What she has is a deep sense of telepathic empathy. So what she does is she goes into feeling. She can sense the feelings of others deeply. She understands deeply the feelings of others. And what happens sometimes on that show, and this is the next step of this, what happens sometimes on that show is that that character of Deanna Troi, she would get lost in those feelings. And that's what I'm here to warn against. As spiritual beings, if we are in empathy with another, are we going into a morbid empathy where we are getting lost in the feeling so deeply that we are now aligned in that feeling space with them? My AirPod just fell out. Where we are aligned deeply with them to such a degree that we are now doing ourselves a disservice. And so what is the step beyond empathy, perhaps? Well, it's actually found in today's daily word. The daily word for Monday, December 4th in the daily word is compassionate. I strive to be in a state of compassion. Compassion in the sense in spiritual circles where I mean this: unconditional love. Unconditional love, no matter what. No matter what, I choose to root myself in unconditional love. Do I sometimes fall off of that? Yeah. But I get myself right back onto that path of unconditional love as quickly as possible. So today's affirmation in daily word is I listen and respond with compassion. I listen and respond with compassion. What if, beyond empathy, beyond sympathy, what if we listened and responded in every instance with compassion, meaning unconditional love? How might that shift our experience? Something to think about today. And I choose compassion. I choose compassion. You get to choose what works for you. So, with that, I would love for us to do some affirmative prayer rooted in the understanding that we are welcoming a compassionate countenance, a compassionate mind, and a compassionate heart in and as the expression of our lives. So if you are in a place where it is safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes and join me in this prayer, I invite you to do so. Simply relax. I choose to relax in this moment. Relaxing into the understanding and the acknowledgement and the acceptance that there is only one infinite power and presence. There is only one infinite power and presence. I let myself settle into the feeling of this understanding. I feel the sensations of the presence. For there can be nothing separate from the infinite. There is only that. And I choose to call it by many names: universal wholeness, spirit, love, God. Names don't matter. The feeling is what matters. And so I settle into the feeling of this wholeness. I settle into the feeling of the infinite, and I choose to know. I choose to reflect upon this as well, that my identity is that. For there can be nothing separate from the infinite. I am that which is. Each and every one of us are. There can be nothing separate from God. And so God is who we are. This is our identity. The wholeness of us is God. And I know that God is unfolding itself as pure love at all times. And every activity of the divine is an activity of love. Every thought of the divine is a thought rooted in the magnificent creative power that is love. And so I choose in this moment love, unconditional love, which I call compassion. And in every moment, I listen and respond with compassion to others and to myself. For I am not separate from the wholeness. So I choose to treat myself with compassion and treat all whom I encounter with compassion. I choose this. Every activity of my life is rooted in this idea, rooted in this construct. And so I welcome the flow. I welcome the good. I welcome the love. And I welcome the compassion, which I know is reflected back to me in this frame of mind and in this frame of heart. And so it is with gratitude and appreciation that I welcome this interactive flow, this circulation of compassion, this circulation of love as the expression of my life and the lives of each and every one of us. With appreciation overflowing, I simply let it be. I affirm it as so by saying, and so it is. Amen. And so it is. I appreciate this time we share together. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, 9 a.m. right here, Facebook, YouTube, our website, wherever you're watching from. Mindful Moment every single weekday. And of course, I look forward to seeing all of you who are deciding to join us at, here it is, a Broadway Christmas. I'm going to keep talking about it because I'm so excited for it. There are still tickets available. If you'd like to join us at Broadway Christmas, you can do that by going to unitytucson.com and buying your tickets right there online. You can also call the office during the week when we have office hours, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and you can buy your tickets over the phone by talking to Tyler. You can scan that QR code if you're in a position where you're able to do that with your phone. You may be watching on your phone, which makes that a little challenging. But in the description, if you see a description for this video, there's a link there to our website. So lots of ways that you can engage. And I would love to see you there. It's going to be an awesome, awesome night of great entertainment and a Christmas concert that is unexpected. That's what I love about it. It's unexpected. Super excited. All right. Peace and blessings to you. I will see you all tomorrow and look forward to it. Be well. Bye, everybody.